sometimes a lot of us steer clear from the whole LGBTQ pride. You know, some of us straight folks, we kind of steer clear from it out of fear. A podcaster said to me, you can talk about any group on your podcast except for one. And I was like, which one? He was like, the letters, the alphabet. And I'm like, what? The letters? Nigga, say it with your chest.
Meloney P.
Talk to him. Be honest. I'm on a very low calorie, high protein. Be honest.
Here we go.
Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Meloney P podcast. Y'all, it is Pride Month. Pride. It's Pride Month. Yay! I feel like sometimes a lot of us steer clear from the whole LGBTQ pride. You know, some of us straight folks, we kind of steer clear from it out of fear. I remember when I first started my podcast, this guy said, a podcaster said to me, you can talk about any group on your podcast except for one. And I was like, which one? He was like, the letters, the alphabet. And I'm like, what? The letters? Nigga, say it with your chest. LGBTQ, y'all, it is Pride Month. And the reason why I'm doing this episode is I saw something interesting on TikTok and it made me think, and I wanted to have a conversation about it. Listen, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know what's funny? When I was younger, me and my brother, sometimes during the summertime, we would try to like hold a note and see who could hold it the longest without breaking, That's what that brought me. But anyway, y'all, listen, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you order your Nama products. Euphoria is my favorite, but they have these amazing buzz drops. They have stuff to help. They have products to help you sleep, products to help you feel a little euphoric. They have a lot of products, y'all. And with my link in the description, you will get $5 off. And trust me, this is not just me giving a sales pitch. This shit is really good. That euphoria is one of the best feelings I've had in all 2024. So make sure you hit that link in the description and make sure you order your Nama product. Support the show, support this sister, support yourself, and let's get it started. All right, y'all. So I was on TikTok minding my business and I saw Raven Symone, her wife, and another white lady on her episode, and they were talking about what kind of lesbian are you? Now I'm gonna play this. And I'm going to let y'all hear this just for shits and giggles.
What kind of brand of lesbian are you?
I say I'm like a chapstick lesbian.
Oh, you're a chaps?
Yeah, that's what I identify most with. Because I like do my makeup, but I don't wear lipstick.
You're like pretty.
Yeah. But I'm like not. And then I'll wear like some girlier things sometimes, but not really. I feel like you're like a soft mask.
I'm a little bit of a soft mask,
right?
But that's also because I still am Raven Symone, so I go back and forth.
True.
When you put hair on.
I mean,
I'm a straight switch when I put hair on.
Yeah.
If you weren't Raven Symone, what brand of lesbian would you be?
I'd probably be a full-on stud. What kind of lesbian bisexual are you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not femme.
You don't think?
She's not a femme.
You would say I'm femme because of how I present.
Yeah.
I live with her. She's not a femme.
No.
Right.
She's a masculine femme. And not presentation, just mentality.
But like a femme top.
Bottom.
I was like, do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Pillow princess.
Bottom.
God.
Like full on.
Okay. There were a lot of titles in that snippet, y'all. And I'm like, what is a chapstick lesbian? What is a femme? What? Like, it was a lot going on. And it made me just do a little Google smoogle to find out what these were, because I'm just so curious, right? And then I just happened to have a shirt that said femme. I've had a shirt for years, okay? I don't know. But anyway, Raven Symone is one of our, treasures. And I feel like a lot of people who associated with Bill Cosby did a little switcheroo. But anyway, obviously she's a lesbian. Okay, we can say it. She's a part of the LGBTQ community. She is a lesbian. Say it, y'all. It's okay to say it. And you know, she has this podcast with her white wife, which is beautiful. And she has guests on, and it's great to see. Now, I will say that it was very surprising. You know, I didn't watch Raven Symone. I didn't watch That So Raven. I didn't really watch her on, I think she was on The View, but next thing you know, she was looking like, what's that dude, the crazy dude, that was also on Disney Network. Anyway, she was looking like a whole man. Let's just be clear. She looked like a man, had her buds cut. She is totally a stud. And that's beautiful. Happy Pride Month. So in this clip, a few terms that I heard that I had to look up during this beautiful Pride Month was chapstick lesbian, stud lesbian, and femme lesbian. Okay. So just to educate during this beautiful Pride Month, what the hell is a chapstick lesbian? Okay. Now I will say the LGBTQ community, they want their titles. They have titles and they want them and they have them, and it gets a lot of us confused. I had never heard of a chapstick lesbian before this clip, which made me Google. So a chapstick lesbian, also called a soft butch, is a woman who prefers minimal makeup and doesn't need a lot of fancy products to feel pretty. She's the kind of girl who is more likely to be found in a baseball cap than in a designer gown. Chapstick lesbians are often tomboys or sporty girls, but not all of them identify as such. They don't care about fashion or beauty the way a lipstick lesbian does. That's not to say that they don't care about how they look. They just tend to be low maintenance when it comes to their appearance. Now, some characteristics of chapstick lesbians are women who love other women, but also can't live without her chapstick. Low maintenance, doesn't need a lot of makeup or fancy clothes. Loyal and supportive, and she knows how to have a good time. And most importantly, she knows how to keep her lips hydrated. That's kind of dumb. Now, I just read this. I didn't read this before we started, and that's really stupid. You don't need this title. Okay? Chapstick lesbian, y'all are going a little bit too. Now, again, I'm not in the community, so I don't know if this is just a little fun little LGBTQ comedy that, you know, they have within the community, but a chapstick lesbian? That's interesting. The other term that was used was a stud lesbian, okay? A stud lesbian. Now, Raven Symone said that she's giving more so stud lesbian, but once she put that wig on, and she go between the letters, but she's down deep inside a stud lesbian. Now, what's a stud lesbian? The term stud lesbian is thought to have originated in the African American lesbian community in the latter part of the 20th century. A stud lesbian is a Black masculine woman identifying as lesbian. Although not all Black identifying lesbians identify themselves as studs, all studs are without a doubt Black. Now, I did not know this, and I got this off of a lesbian dictionary website. To distinguish their experiences from those of white women and to voice gender roles established in the Black community, Black lesbians coined the phrase. What is a stud lesbian and what sets them apart from other lesbians? Stud lesbians generally are perceived as masculine or butch women. They may dress in traditionally masculine clothing, having short hair, and be physically strong. A stud lesbian is often seen as the opposite of femme, who is typically more feminine in their appearance and demeanor. However, it's important to remember that there is no one correct way to be a lesbian. Damn, I thought there was. And many women fall somewhere in between the two extremes. Stud lesbians are often drawn to femmes because of their feminine energy and vice versa. When it comes to lesbian types, there are a few key terms that you should know. Studs, butch lesbians, and tomboys are all the lesbians who have more masculine appearance and attitude. Now, here's where I get confused, because in the non-LGBTQ community, you have tomboys, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're lesbians, right? So do they need a name as well? what I don't understand, what I don't get is that if you have a lesbian that is more masculine presenting, do you have to call it a stud? Or them? Not it. Oh my God, not it. But do you have to call them a stud? I don't know. Like, because is the average straight girl who's a little bit more tomboyish, is she considered a stud too? Or do you have to be attracted to women to actually have a title and to be a stud? It's very interesting. It's very complicated, and it's a lot. It's truly a lot. Now it says, first, let's start with a butch woman. A butch woman is usually a white lesbian who dresses in a very masculine way. I did not know that we differentiated butch and stud by race. I did not know that. The butch identity has helped shape the stereotypes involving who looks gay. Think short hair and flannel. Stud lesbians, on the other hand, are typically black lesbians who dress in a masculine way. Studs are not quite the same as butch. Despite sharing many of the same qualities, a stud will usually dress in manly style, but not as baggy as a butch woman. Tomboys are lesbians who dress in a more androgynous or masculine way, but they don't necessarily identify as either butch or femme. They're just comfortable in their own skin, and they don't necessarily fit into gender roles. Now, I didn't know that if you was a tomboy, you was a part of LGBTQ, they're doing a bit much. Now, lastly, Raven Symone's wife referenced femme lesbian. And a femme lesbian is a lesbian who is more feminine, leaning in style and energy. They actually know how to walk in heels, even if it's just kitten heels. So I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Now, I will say 100% that, based on definition, Raven Symone definitely fits a stud butch lesbian, okay? And I think it's beautiful. And I can only imagine I wonder when she, realized that she was a lesbian, because we all remember her as the cute little kid on the Cosby Show, and then, this girl, this funny psychic on That's So Raven. And so I just wonder how it had to be in the industry, especially when people were introduced to you in a certain way all their lives, all of your life, and then at some point you have to flip it because you're not presenting your true authentic self, and that has to be difficult. And there are a lot of people. I was just watching the Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner documentary, and I think everyone should watch that, because it really does give a real life, like, I'm in the wrong body, but I'm having to just fit this narrative to make everyone comfortable except for myself. And that has to be difficult. And I feel like, especially in the Black community, we are the most judgmental, in my opinion, and we have the most opinions about gay people, and that aren't the most positive all the time. And I just feel so bad for anyone that feels one way inside, but have to, or makes themselves present a different way to make everyone else comfortable. And it's very sad. And I feel like during Pride Month, I really want to salute the people who are comfortable walking in their rainbow flag in their skin. I love them all. I think that we need more conversations, to understand. Now, what I don't get and what I don't think is needed, but who am I to say, is all these damn titles. There's a lot of titles, and it gets people confused. And it's just another way to make people be disrespectful or, joke about the LGBTQ community. Now, again, I'm not in the community, so I don't know what some of their hardships are. And maybe there's a reason why they want the title. Like, maybe there's a reason. And maybe it's not for us straight people to understand. Maybe it's a community thing. The same way that saying the N-word is a black thing, you better not say it. Maybe it's something that literally is for the community. And I think that we get so caught up in other people's business sometimes that we can't even deal with our own business. But it was very interesting. I wanted to use this opportunity and use this video as a catalyst to understand these different lesbian terms. Didn't know there was a such thing as a chapstick lesbian. Listen, this was just a little quick conversation. I'm going to drop that video in the description and let me know, did I miss anything? Are these definitions that I got off of a lesbian website, are they accurate? Are they accurate? And if I wear chapstick, sometimes I dress, with a cap on, but I don't think that makes me one of the titles. Listen, y'all, happy Pride Month. If you have any comments or anything to add, please make sure you write a comment below. Make sure you order your products in the description, and I will see you on the next episode.